Hi everybody and welcome back. My name's Melissa and this year I'm sharing 365 tips for frugal living. So along with those tips, I'm showing you how to make simple recipes and add to it. And one of the things I am a big proponent of is making your own soup, making your own stock, using that waste product to actually make something. So I have made uh, chicken broth with chicken scraps, not bones. I have made the beef noodle soup from the soup bones. And now I'm going to take the turkey carcass from the turkey that I made, the turkey breast that I made last night, and I am going to turn that into turkey broth so I can make turkey rice soup. I can freeze some, and then I can also have some for the uh, other recipes that I'm going to make, like the shredded turkey, to kind of do it more like a turkey taco style. So I'm going to pause here, take you over to the stove, and let you see how simple it is. Okay, so I'm going to apologize real quick because I do have you might hear the faucet dripping, and that's just because I have to for the plumbing right now. It's super cold. So I have I just stirred the turkey carcass in the pot. That's one less dish to wash. Same base as always. Sliced onion, or you can just do an onion half. I decided to slice it today. I don't know why, because I felt like it, I guess. A carrot cut up. And then the cloves with garlic crushed. A lot of people are probably wondering where the celery is. I hate celery, so I don't use it. A lot of people say, oh, but you know, you need the celery for flavor. No, I don't. I don't want the flavor celery adds. And that is one of the most amazing things about cooking your own food, is you can literally choose what goes in it. Now, if you eat a lot of carrots, one thing I recommend, save those ends that you don't eat, and then you can also use that to make the broth, and you don't have to use carrot that you would otherwise eat. I'm going to add some of my seasoning mix. Yes, I know it's a lot. I want a lot today. And then cover it. It'll sit. You can see it's a high heat. Once it boils, I'll turn it down. It'll sit. It'll boil for a few hours, and then I will have turkey broth. So at this point, you have seen multiple broths made. I'll also still show you broth from a rotisserie chicken and some of the different things that I do with it. I actually still have some beef broth left over, and I'm going to make some more beef noodle soup with an old chuck steak I have in the fridge later. I'll have the turkey broth. So there's lots of things you can do. Broth is a very flexible ingredient. Not only can you make soups, you can use it to add to flavor your things like shredded chicken or shredded beef, or whatever shredded meat dish you're doing. So definitely use those scraps to make your broth. Anyways, I will show you real quick what the broth looks like, show you the last couple of steps, but because I do have other more detailed videos, it is going to be a more quick abbreviation to just kind of show you what it is, and to also, you know, link to the other videos in case people are like, oh, well, you know, do I have to go and buy turkey broth? No, you don't. Here's how you get it. Okay, so a turkey carcass is obviously bigger, even with just the turkey breast. And there's some parts that are not as fun. One thing you kind of have to, because if your pot's not big enough, you need to kind of turn it and almost kind of break it a little. And if you have a bigger pot, that's great, but a lot of people may just be starting cooking, and, you know, you don't want to go out and spend a fortune on equipment, because that's not very frugal. So this part is definitely the kind of like, I don't like it as much. A lot of people don't, but it kind of helps if you do it. So everything's kind of under now. I notice it's getting a little low on water, so I'm going to grab some water real quick too. Okay, so I just want to have it keep simmering. For those of you who may be new to the channel or haven't seen any of my other cooking videos, I cook on propane, which cooks different than your typical gas stove, very different from an electric stove, so it has to be watched differently. Okay, so it has been 3 hours. You can see the soup is really cooked. I'm going to go ahead and turn off the flame, take it over to the counter, and I will show you next steps. Real quick, before I go over, just in case you're wondering and ever think, wow, her kitchen's so messy. It was clean to start with, but I want to kind of show you. Soup boiled over, so there's mess there, mess there, mess under there. And that's kind of what happens in a small kitchen. I just frequently see people who have tiny kitchens and show cooking stuff. People are like, your kitchen's so messy. It's not messy because of slovenliness. It's messy because of cooking. Okay, so now I have it over here to cool. I'm going to take the lid off. I happen to have a big strainer. It's definitely helpful, because then you can just kind of dump the whole thing in. I should probably figure out a way to do this so that you can see what I'm doing. It's like really awkward. Okay. So now I have this bowl ready to cool. I'm going to open up my garbage can and kind of pull it out so that I can easily reach stuff. So this is steaming, so I'm going to put on gloves and see if I can do it, but there's a good chance it's too hot. I definitely recommend giving it a chance to cool, but I am a very impatient person, so I kind of just want to get it done. I'm going to save all this turkey is going to become meat for the soup. So you can see a lot of it's still really good, high quality meat. Obviously, you're going to have bones. Those are going to come out, go straight in the trash. You definitely want to be careful. Also, I don't know if you know this, don't give turkey or chicken bones to dogs. Never a good choice. Okay. So you can see, kind of want to try and show you. There's like a connective tissue here, but there's meat on it, and you can still pull that meat off. That meat is perfectly good. This is what your mothers, grandmothers, great-grandmothers did. I don't know how old you are, but chances are there was a woman in your family who at some point did this. I think that's just about done. So I'm going to toss this all away. I'm going to be putting the broth in the fridge. Once it cools, I'll take the fat off. You've seen me do that before. Okay, so the broth actually sat in the fridge for a couple of days because I got sick and then my pipe burst and everything. So, well, I guess I was sick when I started the process. But you can see there's kind of that layer of fat on there. So I'm going to just skim off the top layer. Okay, so there's still some fat left on it. It's turkey broth, so there's not a lot of fat to begin with, and it doesn't come off as easily. So one of the things I'm going to make is turkey rice soup. So I'm going to measure out about 4 cups of the broth. Okay, so I've got the 4 cups of turkey broth, and then I'm going to put about 1/4 to 1/2 cup, which is 45 to 90 grams of dry rice in there. Or perhaps 138 grams because I wasn't paying attention. Okay, and then I have 1 carrot that I cut very small because I like my carrot and my soup to be very tiny most of the time, especially with something like the turkey rice. And then I believe I had about 1/2 pound of the turkey left over from the soup, so I'll just dump that all in. This is one of the rare times you will see that I actually do have 4 burners on my stove. So I will put that stuff back. Turn on that rear burner and just kind of let that cook. Okay, so the soup is done, and I think I may have accidentally burnt the bottom part to the pan. You can see I definitely put too much rice in there, so I would cut the rice by half, but that's okay. It'll just be kind of more of a rice dish than a soup dish. 35.4 ounces of soup, which I would estimate to be at least 4 servings. I'll get back to you on that though. Okay, so the final meal that I made with the turkey, and I kind of showed you the turkey soup, but it also, you know, I showed you that it turned out more like turkey and rice. So in order to make it more soupy, I simply put a cup of water and a bouillon cube, which is like 8 cents. And now I have, well, let me see, I'll pause it and see if I... Okay, so now you can see it is more of a soup consistency to kind of help it. And it turned out okay. I mean, it's a little saltier than I like, but it's okay. Anyways, again, my name's Melissa. This year I'm sharing 365 tips for frugal living. If you want to hear more, please hit like and subscribe, and I'll see y'all tomorrow.